Welcome back to episode 5 of the Sleepy podcast. Today I'm reading an article called Belle and Sebastian. If you did enjoy the video, please remember to like and subscribe at the start, as you may be asleep by the end. Belle and Sebastian are a Scottish indie pop band formed in Glasgow in 1994, led by Stuart Murdock. The band has released 10 albums. Much of their work have been released on Jeepstar Records, but they are now signed to worldwide Meteor Records. History. Formation in early years, 1994 to 1998. Belle and Sebastian were formed in Glasgow, Scotland in 1994 by Stuart Murdock and Stuart David, both of whom had enrolled in Stowe College's beatbox programme for unemployed musicians. Together with music professor Alan Rankin, formerly of the Associates, they recorded some demos, which were picked up by the college's music business course that produces and releases one single each year on the college's label, Electric Honey. As the band has a number of songs already and the label was extremely impressed by the demos, Belle and Sebastian were allowed to record a full-length album, which was recorded mostly live over 3 days, entitled Tiger Milk. Murdoch once described the band as a product of botched capitalism. The band took their name from a short story that Murdoch had written inspired by the television adaptation of the French novel Belle and Sebastian, about a 6-year-old boy and his dog. Tiger Milk was recorded in 3 days, and originally only 1,000 copies were pressed in vinyl. As of 2007, these copies are valued up to £400. The warm reception the album received inspired by Murdoch and David to turn the band into a full-time project, recruiting Stevie Jackson on guitar and vocals, Isabel Campbell on cello and vocals, Chris Geddes on keys, and Richard Colburn on drums to fill out the group. After the success of the debut album, Belle and Sebastian were signed to Jeepstar Records in August 1996, and If You're Feeling Sinister, their second album, was released on the 18th of November. The album was named by Spin as one of the 100 greatest albums between 1985 and 2005, and it's widely considered the band's masterpiece. Just before recording Sinister, Sarah Martin on violin and vocals joined the band. Following this, a series of EPs were released in 1997. The first of these was Dogs on Wheels, which contained 4 demo tracks recorded before the real formation of the band. In fact, the only long-term members to play in the songs were Murdoch and David, and Mick Cook, who played trumpet on the EP, but would not officially join the band until a few years later. It charted at number 59 in the UK singles charts. The Lazy Line Painter, Jane, EP, followed in July. The band was recorded in the church where Murdoch lived, and featured vocals from Monica Queen. The EP narrowly missed out on the UK's top 40, peaking at 41. The last of the Light in 1997 EPs were October's 3, 6, 9 Seconds of Light. The EP was made Single of the Week in both the NME and Melody Maker, and reached number 32 in the charts, thus becoming the band's first top 40 single. Critical acclaim and lineup changes between 1998 and 2003. The band released their third EP, The Boy with the Arab Strap, in 1998, and reached number 12 in the UK charts. The Boy with the Arab Strap earned an NRP interview and positive reviews from Rolling Stone and The Village Voice, among others. However, the album had its detractors, including Pitchfork, who gave the album a poor review, calling it a parody of their early work. Pitchfork has since removed their review from their website and re-reviewed the album positively in 2018. During the recording of the album, longtime studio trumpet player Mick Cook was asked to join the band as a full member. The This Is Just Modern Rock Song EP followed later that year. In 1999, the band was awarded with Best Newcomer for their third album at the Brit Awards, upsetting better-known acts such as Stepped and Five. That same year, the band hosted their own festival, the Bowley Weekender. Tiger Milk was also given a full release by Jeepstar before the band started work on their next LP. The result was Fold Your Hands, Child, You Walk Like a Peasant, which became the band's first top 10 album in the UK. A standalone single, Legal Man, reached number 15 in their first appearance on Top of the Pops. As the band's popularity and recognition was growing worldwide, their music began appearing on films and television. The 2000 film High Fidelity mentions the band, and features a clip from the song Seymour Stain from The Boy with the Arab Strap. Also, the title track for Arab Strap was played at the end credit of the UK television series Teachers, which I've done another video about, and the lyric Colour My Life with the Chaos of Trouble was from the song quoted from the character in the 2009 film 500 Days of Summer. Stuart David soon left the band to concentrate on his side project, Looper, and his book writing, which involved the idle thought of a daydreamer. He was replaced by Bobby Keidler of V-Twin, and the Jonathan David single, sung by Stevie Jackson, was released in June 2001 and was followed by I'm Walking Up to Us in November. I'm Walking Up to Us saw the band use an outside producer, Mike Hurst, for the first time. Most of 2002 was spent touring and recording an album, Storytelling. Campbell left the band in the spring of 2002, in the middle of the band's North America tour, to pursue a solo career, first as The Gentle Waves, and later under his own name. She later collaborated with singer Mark Langan on 3 albums. Label change and return to success, 2003 to 2010. The band left Jeep Star Records in 2002, signing a 4-album deal with Rough Trade Records. Their first album for Rough Trade was Dear Catastrophe Waitress, was released in 2003 and was produced by Trevor Horn. The band showed a remarkably more produced sound compared to their first 4 LPs, and the band was making a concerned effort to produce more radio-friendly music. The album was warmly received and is credited with restoring the band's indie cred. The album also marked the return of Murdock as the group's primary songwriter, following the poorly received Fold Your Hand Child, You Walk Like a Peasant and Storytelling, both of which were more collaborative than the band's early work. A documentary DVD, Fans Only, was released by Jeep Star in October 2003, featuring promotional videos, live clips, and unreleased footage. A single from the album, Step Into My Office Baby, followed in November 2003. It would be their first single to be taken from an album, and included a track recorded in Divine Comedy producer Darren Allison, entitled Love on the March. The Thin Lizzy-inspired I'm a Cuckoo was the second single from the album. It achieved their highest chart position yet, reaching number 14 in the UK. The Books EP followed, a double A-side single led by Wrapped Up in Books from Dear Catastrophe Waitress, was the new Your Cover's Brown. This EP became the band's third top 20 UK release, and the band was nominated for both the Mercury Prize and the Ivor Novello Award. In January 2005, Belle Sebastian was voted Scotland's greatest band in a poll by The List, beating Simple Minds, Idlewild, Travis, Franz Ferdinand, and The Proclaimers, among others. In April 2005, members of the band visited Israel and Palestine territories with the UK charity War on Want. The group was subsequently recorded a song inspired by the trip entitled The 8th Station of the Cross Kebab House, which would first appear on the digital download version charity album Help, A Day in the Life. On 6th of July 2006, the band played a historic show with the Los Angeles Philharmonic at the Hollywood Bowl. The opening act of the 18,000-seat sellout concert was The Shins. The members of the band see the landmark event with Stevie Jackson saying, "This is the biggest thrill of my entire life." In October 2006, members of the band helped put together a CD collection of their songs for children titled Colours Are Brighter, with the involvement of major bands such as Franz Ferdinand and the Flaming Lips. On the 18th of November 2008, the band released the BBC Sessions, which features songs from the period of 1996 to 2001, including the last recordings including Isabel Campbell before she left the band, along with a second disc featuring recordings of a live performance in Belfast from Christmas 2001. Recent years, 2010 till present. On the 17th of July 2010, the band performed their first UK gig in almost 4 years, to a crowd of around 30,000 people at Latitude Festival in Hemmond Park, Southwold. They performed 2 new songs, I Didn't See It Coming and I'm Not Living in the Real World. Their 8th studio album was released in the UK, internationally on the 25th of September 2010, and was titled Belle and Sebastian Write About Love. The first single from the album, as well as the record's title track, Write About Love, was released in the US on the 7th of September 2010. Write About Love entered the UK album charts in its first week of release, peaking at number 8 as of the 19th of October 2010. Norah Jones is featured on the album track Little Lou, Ugly Jack, Prophet John. In September 2008, Belle and Sebastian created the sequel to the Bowley Weekend in the form of Bowley 2, and presented by All Tomorrow's Parties. In 2013, Pitch Talk TV released an hour-long documentary in February, directed by R.J. Bentler, which focused on the band's 1996 album If You're Feeling Sinister, as well as the formation of the early release of the band. The documentary features interviews with every member that was present on the album, as well as several archive photos and videos from the band's early days. The band compiled a second compilation album, The Third Eye Center, which included B-sides and rarities including Push Barman's To the Open World Wounds from the album Dear Catastrophe Weightless, The Life in Pursuit and Write About Love. In an interview at the end of 2013, Mick Cook confirmed that he had left the band on good terms. The band received Outstanding Contribution to Music Award at the NME Awards in 2014. In 2014, the band returned to the studio, recording in Atlanta, Georgia for their 9th studio album, along with announcing tour dates for various festivals and concerts across the world during 2014. Their 9th album, Girl in Peacetime Want to Dance, was released on the 19th of January 2015. It was their first album with Dave McGowan, who had been the touring bassist since 2011. The Belle Sebastian song, There's Too Much Love, forms much of the soundtrack for the Brazilian film The Way He Looks, about a blind gay teenage boy with his friends, released in 2014. Belle Sebastian performed at the world-famous Glastonbury Festival on Sunday the 28th of June 2015 on The Other Stage, and the O2 Academy Glasgow in 2017, which was televised in the UK as part of the BBC Six Music Presents Festival. In mid-2017, the band put out a new single, We Were Beautiful. During the same year, the band appeared in the news for a comic story occurring in the US tour, in which they accidentally forgot Colburn in North Dakota Walmart. In December 2017 and February 2018, the band released a trio of EPs under the name How to Solve Our Human Problems. On the 3rd of November 2018, the band announced that Dave McGowan had officially become a member. In August 2019, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Bowley Weekender Festival, Belle Sebastian held a third festival, dubbed the Boaty Weekender. Unlike the previous two festivals, the Boaty Weekender was held on a cruise ship in the Mediterranean Sea, instead of a UK holiday park. I'll also add that in 2018 they played the Fibber Fib Benicassi Music Festival, which I attended, and it was absolutely brilliant. Collaborations and side projects. The Reindeer Section were a Scottish indie rock supergroup formed in 2001 by Gary Lightboot of Snow Patrol, which released albums and gigged in 2001 and 2002. It featured Richard Colburn, Mick Cook, and Bobby Kilder from Belle Sebastian. The Vaselines are an alternative rock band from Glasgow, formed in Glasgow in 1986. Between 2008 and 2014, their lineup featured Stevie Jackson and Bobby Kilder from Belle Sebastian, and they performed at the Bowley Weekender 2, curated by Belle Sebastian in December 2010. Tired Pony is a country Americana supergroup formed by Gary Lightbody of Snow Patrol in 2010. It features Richard Colburn from Belle Sebastian. God Help the Girl is a musical project by Stuart Murdock, featuring a group of female vocalists, including Catherine Iron with Belle Sebastian as the accompanying band. Looper Band is an electronic music group formed by Stuart Davis. Band members, current members, Stuart Murdock on vocals, guitar and keyboards from 1996 till present, Stevie Jackson on guitar, vocals and piano from 1996 till present, Sarah Martin on vocals, violin, guitar, flute, keyboards, recorder, percussion, 1996 till present. Chris Geddes on keyboard, piano and percussion from 1996 till present. Richard Colburn on drums and percussion from 1996 till present. Bobby Kilder on guitar and bass 2001 till present. And Dave McGowan on bass, keyboards and guitar from 2018 till present, but was a touring musician from 2012 to 2018. Former members include Isabel Campbell on vocals, cello and guitar from 1996 to 2002, Stuart Davis on bass from 1996 till 2000, and Mick Cook on trumpet, guitar, bass and percussion from 1998 till 2013, and was a touring musician from 1996 till 1998. Their full studio albums include Tiger Milk 1996, If You're Feeling Sinister 1996, The Boy with the Arab Strap 1998, Fold Your Hands Child, You Walk Like a Peasant 2000, Storytelling 2002, Dear Catastrophe Waitress 2003, Their Life Pursuit 2006, Write About Love 2010, Girls in Peacetime Want to Dance 2015, Days of the Bang Old Summer in 2019, and there were of course the musicians on the project God Help the Girl in 2009. As this podcast is run short by a few minutes, I'm just going to read the Wikipedia page of Stuart Murdock, the singer of Belle Sebastian. Stuart Lee Murdock, born 25th of August 1968, is a Scottish musician, writer and filmmaker, and the lead singer and songwriter for the indie pop band Belle and Sebastian. Early life. Murdock's parents made him take piano lessons during his childhood. He claims not to have enjoyed them, but now appreciates this decision vastly. Apart from early musical activities at secondary school, at age 12 he formed a band with fellow pupils, in which he played the piano. Murdock first became publicly involved with music as a radio DJ for the subsidiary radio of the University of Glasgow. While at university at the end of the 1980s, he became ill with chronic fatigue syndrome and was unable to work for 7 years. Murdock said that the isolation of becoming these years were led to him becoming a songwriter. That was a big desert of time with a kind of vacuum of my life from what these songs started out, these melodies where I could express what I was feeling. By early 1995, Murdock had largely recovered from his illness and began to look for fellow musicians to form a band, which became Belle and Sebastian. Murdock's struggle with chronic fatigue syndrome is a subject of the song Nobody's Empire on Belle and Sebastian's album Girl in Peacetime Want to Dance. Influence of religion. This was also when he began living above a church hall and working as its caretaker, a position he maintained until 2003. In 2004, Murdock told The Guardian, "I'm not actually a Christian, with a capital C. I'm still asking questions. But I had this time when I found myself singing all these old hymns in my kitchen, and I could not work out what I was doing it. Then one Sunday morning, I got up, looked at my watch, and thought, I wonder if I could make it in time to a church service. It was so welcoming, it felt like you were just coming home. 12 years later, I've never left." Murdock's interest in faith has become important in his lyrics. Belle and Sebastian's first album included lines about reading the gospel to yourself, and on the second album, Murdock sang the pain of being a hopeless unbeliever. Religious references became more confident and direct in later albums, including If I Find Yourself Caught in Love, which continues to say a prayer for the man above. This line becomes a refrain. On the album Dear Catastrophe Waitress, and the two-part Act of the Apostle on the Life of Pursuit of If You Find Yourself Caught in Love, Murdock told Gross, "At the time I was writing it, I thought, well, should I be so overt? Because I've often couched any religious overtones within characters in the past, but this is a bit more than that. And then I just thought, come on, you've been doing this for years, why not? Why not just be a bit more straightforward?" Sexually ambiguous lyrics in Belle and Sebastian have always prompted Murdock to confirm his heterosexuality in the press, calling himself straight to the point of boring myself. Personal life. Murdock ran the Glasgow Marathon in 1986 and finished with a time of 3 hours. Murdock is a vegetarian. He married longtime girlfriend Patsy Provia on the 26th of November 2007 in New York City. Provia is on the cover of the Belle and Sebastian DVD Fans Only and the LP This Life Pursuit. Their eldest son Denny was born on May 2013. Second son Nico was born in November 2016. Murdock was diagnosed with colour blindness at an early age and does not drink. "I like a Scotch whisky, but I'm allergic to alcohol, would you believe, which is a tragedy in itself," he said. It's only in the last couple of years I got eczema, and one of the things I had to get rid of to give it up was alcohol." In 2009, Murdock contributed to the song Another Saturday to the AIDS benefit Dark Weather Night, produced by Red Hot Organisation. He was one of the most notable presenters attending a 5th of December 2009 march in Glasgow, supporting a government intervention to combat climate change, prior to the United Nations Climate Change Conference in 2009 in Copenhagen. In 2010, Murdock published his first memoir, The Celestial Cafe, in 2012-2013. He wrote and directed the musical feature film God Help a Girl, released internationally and online in 2014. That's about all I've got time for today. If you did enjoy, please listen to previous episodes, which you can find on YouTube. Thank you very much, and good night.